A lot of agricultural workers came to the East End to look for alternative work. A periodical is a publication that is issued regularly. All essays and seminar papers submitted must be emailed to your tutor. All students are encouraged to vote in the forthcoming elections. Does the college refectory offer vegetarian dishes on a daily basis? During the next few centuries, London became one of the most powerful and prosperous cities in Europe. Essays should be typed with double spaces on white paper. Fees are heavily discounted and bursaries are available for delegates. He was not the only one to call for legal reform in the 16th century. Higher numbers of patients were infected than during previous outbreaks of the illness. However, this method is problematic in terms of accuracy. I will now demonstrate how the reaction can be arrested by adding a dilute acid. If you want to quit the student union, tell the registrar. I'll start with a brief history of the district, and then focus on life in the first half of the 20th century. In the last few weeks, we've been looking at various aspects of the social history of London. In the past, students were required to complete 2 long written assignments. International students can get help with locating housing near the university. It is quite clear that the rising prosperity does not make people feel more content. Knives and forks should be placed next to the spoon on the edge of the table. Make sure you correctly cite all your sources. Many of the urban poor lived in an extremely cramped condition. Maybe it is time for me to make some changes. Most students are not eligible to claim housing benefits. Much of his research objectives are driven by his natural curiosity and instincts. New timetables will be posted on the student notice board. New York City is famous for its ethnic diversity. Next time, we will discuss the influence of the media on public policy. Novelists have a major role to play in reflecting their time to their readers. Our class is divided into 2 groups. You come with me, the others stay here. Overcrowding and poor sanitation affected the lives of the majority of the population. Parents should provide guidance and examples to children's values. Please come to the next seminar, properly prepared. Please hand in assignments at the main office. Please have copies of your seminar papers in the library a week in advance. Professor Smith will be late for today's lecture. Students are held accountable for adhering to established community standards. Students need to finish their assignments during the next 4 weeks. The brief outline takes us to the beginning of the 20th century. The Arts magazine is looking for a new assistant editor. The campus tour will help you get familiar with the teaching facilities. The circulation desk is located on the ground floor. The country suffered a series of invasions by tribes from present-day Germany and Denmark. The date of the invention of the first clock is disputed among historians. The development is mainly included in Chapter 9. The Drama Society is now auditioning for parts in the student play. The English word typhoon comes from the Chinese word big wind. The final year will consist of 4 taught courses and 1 project. The fire left the area almost completely devoid of vegetation. The lecture on child psychology has been postponed until Friday. The lecture will deal with the influence of technology on music. The medical centre is located near the supermarket on North Street. The meeting will take place in the main auditorium. The mismatch between the intended and reported uses of the instrument has become clear. This part of the story is the story of my father. The professor will talk about the summary in the lecture. The Romans left in 410, at the beginning of the 5th century. The seminar will be on the last week of the quarter. The smoke from these contributed a great deal to the air pollution. The student welfare officer can help with questions about exam techniques. The technology they introduced meant that metal and leather goods were produced there for the first time. The visiting professor is going to give a lecture on geology. There are hundreds of clubs and societies to choose from. There is plenty of cheap accommodation off campus. There will be a significant rise in tuition fees starting next year. There will be no extensions given for this project. This article covers the whom, where, and when of the conflict. This course will examine some of the profound ethical dilemmas. This year, we are planning to use a different type of assessment on this module. Tutorials are held for 2 hours every Thursday during semester. We are also going to be more prescriptive about what you focus on in your presentation. We are not going to accept the assignment after the due date on Friday. We are warning the clients that the rates are increasing. We would like people to write a case study describing an organization they know. We will discuss these 2 pictures in the next lecture. We've decided to ask you to write 4 short pieces of written coursework this year. You must establish a day and a time with your tutor. You will be informed of the results by email. You will find the economics section on the 2nd floor of the library.